This is more practice on systems of linear equations from my quick review series. So specifically, we're going to go through all these problems that you see here and also all of these problems. And so this video continues extra practice from a review video on the same topic. So if you want to check out that review video, I'll drop a link to it in the description. Also, you can get a free PDF version of all of these problems with an answer key at divideandconquermath.com. Just go to the review section. So I am just going to jump right into these, and so if you want to try them out first, feel free to hit pause. Otherwise, I am just going to start plowing right through these. Okay, so I talked about in the other video that you can use substitution or graphing or elimination, but I'll be honest, I really like elimination, so I am just going to use that several times. And so in this case, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply this equation by -2. Now, I think it's a really good not by -2, just by 2, sorry. So I think it's a really good idea to just get in the habit of writing what you're multiplying by and then restate the whole system. So I know sometimes it can be tempting, you just don't want to have to write it over again, but I think it is just a lot neater to force yourself to write it out. And now everything stacks up all nicely and my work can stay nice and neat. Okay. So now I can go ahead and add all of these together. So this is going to be 4x, the y's drop out, and then this is going to equal 2. So if I divide both sides by 4 to finish solving for x, I get that x equals 1/2. Okay, so now I'm going to plug this back in to either one of these. So I'm going to plug this into the second equation. So this is going to become 2 times 1/2 plus 4y equals 8. Okay, so 2 times 1/2 is just going to equal 1. So this is 1 plus 4y equals 8. And then subtract the 1, so I get 4y equals 7. Divide both sides by 4, and I get y equals 7/4. So my solution in this case is going to be 1/2 and 7/4. Okay, so for B here, so as I look through this, the first thing that I notice is that I would like to cancel out the x's. So I am just partial to elimination. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this equation by -2. So this is -2x plus 4y equals -14. And then 2x plus 3y equals -21. Okay, and so now if I go ahead and add these straight down, my x's drop out, and I'm left with 7y equals -35. And if I divide both sides by 7, I will get that y equals -5. So now I just have to solve for x, so I'll just plug this back in into the first equation. So this becomes x minus 2 times -5 equals 7. So I have x plus 10 equals 7. Subtract the 10. And I get x equals -3, so my solution will be -3, -5. Okay, up next here, so now I've got 3x minus y equals 7 and 3x plus 2y equals 12. So once again, to me, this is just screaming for elimination. So I'm going to just multiply this first equation by -1. So this is -3x plus y equals -7, and 3x plus 2y equals 12. Okay, so now if I go ahead and I add these straight down, so let's see, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 3y equals 5. Okay, so I can divide both sides by 3, and I get y equals 5/3. Okay, so we've just got to push through with this fraction at this point. So I don't think it really matters which equation we want to plug this back into, so I'm just going to plug this back into the first equation. But we are going to have to deal with some fractions, just to be clear here. So this is going to be 3x minus 5/3 equals 7. So we can get rid of the fraction, of course, if we want, right? So one of the tricks that we can always use is we can just multiply everything by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. And then in doing that, what I can do is I can cancel those out. And I'm left with 9x minus 5 equals 21. And now I can just solve for this as usual. So I can go ahead and add the 5 to both sides. I get 9x equals 26. Divide both sides by 9, and I get x equals 26/9. So this will be 26/9 and 5/3. So definitely not the prettiest of answers, huh? Okay, so now we're going to keep going through the next set of these problems. So again, feel free to pause here if you want to try any of these first. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through them. And by the way, if you're finding this video helpful, I'd love it if you hit that like button. Leave me a comment just to let me know how things are going, or consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so for D here, so I've got x minus 2y equals 10 and 3x minus 6y equals 30. So once again, I am just going to go ahead and use elimination here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply this top equation by -3 so that this turns into -3x plus 6y equals -30. And then I still have my other equation, 3x plus 6, or 3x minus 6y equals 30. And so if I go ahead now and just add everything straight down, you'll notice I get 0 equals 0, which is a true statement. This is something that we did talk about in the review video. And so what this means is since this is always true, this means that there are infinite solutions. Okay, so for the next one, I have fractions in this problem, and we did talk about this also in the review video. So the first thing that we want to do for both of these is we just want to figure out what is the LCD. So the LCD for all of the fractions in the first equation is 8, and the LCD for all the fractions in the second equation is 6. So first things first, I just want to clear out the fractions by multiplying each equation by its LCD. So I will show you what it looks like to multiply the first equation by 8. So here you go. So notice that I had 1, 2, 3 parts of this equation, and so I multiplied each part by 8. And so now I notice that these 8's cancel out, so this is going to leave me with 5x. 1/4 of 8 is just 2, so this is going to be 2y, and then this is going to equal 2. Okay, and we will do that again now for the second equation. So you can see that I've multiplied each part of this now by the LCD of 6. And so 6 times 1/3, oops, I dropped the x here, sorry about that. Let's see, just sneak it in there. So 6 times 1/3 is 2, so this will become 2x. 6 times 1/2 is 3, so this will be 3y. And then -4 over 3 times 6. So what I can do is 3 goes into 6 2 times. So -4 times 2 is going to equal -8. Now this trick I've discussed at length in my equations video. So if you are looking to refresh how to use that LCD trick, feel free to check out my equations video. Okay, but now notice I have this equation and this equation. So this is the system that I actually need to solve. So let me make some space. Okay, so once again, this is a great problem to use elimination for. So I am going to work on eliminating the y's. So I'm going to multiply this line by 3 and this line by -2. So let's see, let's do this one times 3 times -2. So this will become 15x plus 6y equals 6, and -4x minus 6y equals positive 16. And so now if I go ahead and I add these straight down, so it looks like I get 11x equals 22. Divide both sides by 11, and I get x equals 2. So now I can plug that back into either equation. So I get 2 times 2 plus 3y will equal -8. So this is 4 plus 3y equals -8. Subtract the 4, and you get 3y equals -12. Divide both sides by 3 to get y equals -4. And so the point will be 2, -4. Okay, and for our last one, so then we're just going to do a little practice with decimals. So remember with decimals, so you just move each decimal to the right for the maximum amount of decimal spots in that equation. So in this case, the maximum amount of decimal spots is 2. So I'm going to move all of these over 2 spots to the right. So this equation will turn into 2x minus y equals 13. And then for the second one, all of these can get moved over 1 spot because that's the maximum number of spots. So this will become -x plus 4y equals 18. Okay, and so from here, now I can just figure out how do I want to solve this system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this line by 2. So this becomes 2x minus y equals 13. and negative 2x plus 8y equals 36. Okay, so I think we're going to need a little more space here. Actually, I think I can continue over here. So let's see. So if I go ahead and eliminate, so I go ahead and add these two equations down, what am I going to be left with? This is going to give me 7y equals 49. So divide both sides by 7 and get y equals 7. So now I can plug this back into one of these easier forms of the equation. So we're going to call this 2x minus 7 equals 13. Go ahead and add the 7 to get 2x equals 20. Divide both sides by 2 and I'll get x equals 10. So my solution in this case will be 10 and 7. Okay. And just as a reminder, my review series has a lot of other topics in it. So every topic has a refresher video, practice problems, answer keys, video solutions, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in checking out more, go to divideandconquermath.com and then just go to the review section and you'll find everything there for free. And otherwise, I am going to leave it at that, guys. So I hope to catch you guys in another video. Bye!